It's been 45 years. That just means I'm really, really old because I was here for the first one. But as many of you know, this event started out as a way to bring people downtown when downtown wasn't the nicest place. And I know it may be a thin string that connects it all, but look at what downtown is now. Look what's going to happen here in the coming years. Amphitheater, soccer stadium. I mean, it's just incredible what this catalyst did to get all of this started. The race continues to bring thousands of people to downtown Grand Rapids, and we have an economic impact of almost $2 million a year. But one of the things I'm very proud of is this is also the 27th year that we are the U.S. National Championship for the 25K. By the way, yesterday at Boston, you always take some pride in people who have been here and then go on and do well. Scott Fauble, who ran here a few years ago, was the first American yesterday, ran 2:08:51, I believe. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. This race continues to be a breeding ground for up-and-coming Americans. This all happens because we have great sponsors. Amway has come in as our title sponsor and is just a tremendous asset to the community, and we're very lucky that you've taken this on as part of that commitment, as well as Fifth Third Bank, who has been here since day one with Old Kent, then Fifth Third, and then Spectrum Health. We have the big three players in town all supporting what I believe is one of the great traditions in Grand Rapids. So thank you. It not only happens because of our sponsors, but it's also our volunteers. All of those people that you see out on the course that do all of this for a t-shirt and maybe a cup of coffee. But they love the event and they love the city, and we're just so thankful that you couldn't do this without them. This year, I'm really excited about the elite field for the U.S. Championship. I know I say that most years. This year I'm not lying. No, I'll start with the men's field because I want to save the best for last. We have the second place finisher from last year, Futsum Zinalasi, is returning. He ran 1:14:20. Usually 1:14:28 wins by a lot. He didn't win by a lot. Last year he was second, but he's looking to come in here and gain that first place position. But he's going to be challenged by Nick Howard, Brogan Austin, Tyler German, all 2:12 marathoners. I mean, very strong athletes, as well as Will Nation and Heron Legat, who are 2:13 guys. I mean, there's a pack of them that are going to be right there. Yet, they're going to be chasing our former champion and American record holder, Parker Stinson, returns. We're so excited to have Parker back. If you remember his run from a few years ago, it's just incredible effort that he had out there to set the American record, breaking 1:14. Just happy to have him back. It's going to be an exciting race to see if, and the first thing he asked me is, okay, there's a new course. Is it faster or slower? Because he wants to go for that new record again. So excited to see Parker back. He is just a blast. The women's field is probably the best field we've ever had. It's incredible. And I'd like to say and take credit for it. I think we just got lucky. We have 7 women who have broken 2:30 in the marathon. We have a better women's field here than Boston had Americans in their field. That's how strong this is. That field is led by Jordan Hussey. She's run a 2:20 marathon, third fastest woman ever in the U.S. She'll be chased or followed or led by Ann Frisbee, 2:26, Laura Threat, 2:25, Lindsay Flanagan, 2:26, Diane Nakuru, 2:27. Then you throw in these outliers who are half marathon experts. Sarah Pagnio and Laura Parquette both have run 1:09 for a half marathon, which you start doing the math, it's pretty fast. But we have a defending champ coming back. The woman who won the Olympic marathon trials in 2020, our 2-time champion, Elefine Tulamuk is returning. And if you haven't met her, she is just the nicest, warmest person you've ever met until the gun goes off, then she'll rip your heart out. But just, I mean, seriously, that women's field is going to be something to watch. So, again, I'm very, very excited for this year. I think for the 45th, and it sort of coincides with what happened at Boston this weekend. This weekend was the 50th anniversary of women being allowed to run a marathon. You know, it was a big deal. Our women's field sort of reflects what's happened over that period of time. It's just a great field. So thank you, and if you have any questions, I'll be around.
Thanks, Greg. Oh, you guys beat me to it. I was going to say, can we have a round of applause for Mr. Meyer, who's such a good friend of the race. He and Nikki do a great job with the elite group, so thank you, Greg. We appreciate you so much. Hi, everybody. David Maddiel, race director for the Amway River Bank Run. Thanks for being here today. 45 years. We have a milestone year. 45 years. We're just 5 away from the big one. But this is, we're making some changes this year with the 45th year. We're going to let Laura Lee talk to you about some of the changes and exciting things that are happening this year. 24 days until the race, and we're getting the weather out of the way now in the next few days, so we're going to have a beautiful day on May 14th. 45 years, and this is the 5th year that Amway is celebrating as the title sponsor of the Amway River Bank Run, and we're super excited. Our mission, as you know, is to help people live healthier, better lives, and this is a perfect fit for us. We'll continue to be a strong supporter of this race for years to come. I also want to just thank our other sponsors. Fifth Third, of course, as Greg mentioned, has been with us since the beginning. They're sponsor of the 25K. The bank employees that we have from Fifth Third have been just super committee members and sponsors and volunteers over the years and continue to do that. Spectrum Health, our official health partner, Kim's going to come up and talk a little bit today with us. We appreciate you so much as well. They're in charge of making sure we have a safe in-person event in downtown Grand Rapids, which, as we know, is a really important thing these days, and we so appreciate their help with that. A few other sponsors. Fox Honda, again, is the sponsor of the 10K. They're going to be official vehicle sponsor for the race. The Power of 5K, the 5K run, is sponsored by Amway. As I've told you over the years, the Power of 5 is our global campaign against childhood malnutrition. We've impacted over 200,000 kids in 2021 alone, so we're happy to talk about the Power of 5 with the Power of 5K. Meyer returns as our post-refreshment sponsor. We appreciate them and their focus on a healthy lifestyle as well. I do want to mention that it's not just sponsors and it's not just all of us in this room, but it's also the community. The community is a huge part of this race. And we would like to do a call out once again, as we do every year, to the community for volunteers. It's a humongous race. We have normally a need for somewhere between 1,000 plus volunteers and 1,500. So if you're interested, we would love to have you go to AmwayRiverBankRun.com and sign up to be a volunteer for us. Just a few more things and we'll move on to Mr. Stenstrom, but I just want to mention the live music and DJs will help motivate runners along the route. You know, when Amway came in, that was one of the big things that we wanted to look at. What's the experience for the runner? And we wanted to make sure that that is something that's super fun for them, and they say, gosh, you got to be a part of this race, because along the route I was being motivated by entertainment and fun along the route. And of course the Finish Fest. Don't forget the Finish Fest. That's always a lot of fun, and we're enjoying Michelob Ultra and Parent beer at the Finish Fest. I always like to talk about the beer at the end, right? Because that's what the reason a lot of these runners run. All right. I'll move on now. I'd like to introduce a great friend of mine and a great friend of the race, Mr. Scott Stenstrom, Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Fifth Third.
Thank you, Mr. Race Director. I would tell you that there is a tremendous amount of pride on behalf of Fifth Third Bank, having been involved with this race for 45 years, what it does for the community, Greg, I'm so happy to hear that we've got a Class A field out there. I think I remember Elefine running in the 40th, and she had just gotten her U.S. citizenship approved, so that was a milestone for her. No doubt she's going to come back and have a lot of fun. And to have Parker come back and defend his last win is awesome. For the 25K sponsor, that's absolutely fantastic news. So, as I said, I'm proud to be here representing Fifth Third Bank for a lot of different reasons. Aside from our job as kind of a bank, finances on a day-to-day basis, the Fifth Third team really believes that our job is to strengthen families and build a stronger community. That's why we're here. That's really what we do. It's really at the core of what we do. And I can't think of any other event over the course of 45 years that's helped us accomplish that mission than the River Bank Run. The race has brought people downtown, as Greg was saying earlier. I'm going to duplicate a couple of his comments. During a time where downtown was not a destination. It now contributes better than $1.92 million of economic impact each year, which is huge. Not to mention the countless lives it's changed in the pursuit of a healthier lifestyle for kids, for adults. And I would tell you, it's created a spotlight for numerous amounts of charities, and the life-changing stories that I've heard just in my time here are nothing less than amazing. So a quick shout out to the Fifth Third team. David, I appreciate your comments around that, especially those on our race committee. The amount of time and effort that goes in there is very much appreciated. Our race committee in general is an awesome group of individuals. So without them, they are the backbone of the River Bank Run, no doubt. And not only that, but just tons of appreciation for those who volunteered over 45 years. If you think about the number of people that have come together to put this event on, it's staggering. We would not been able to have this event. I also cannot let a year go by without recognizing my predecessor, Marty Allen. Marty was an inspiration behind this event 45 years ago, and I think Greg had already alluded to this, and I think it's worth mentioning again, but Marty brought a world-class event to a sleepy downtown Grand Rapids in 1978, and I really feel like we all benefit from that today. I mean, look at just like what you said, look at where we are today and look at what's going on. In closing, I just want to wish all the athletes, runners, and walkers all the weather that you desire for this event. I know it's going to be different than what the volunteers desire for the event, but I hope it's a great day for all of you, especially those participating in the Fifth Third Bank 25K. Enjoy your day, and thank you for contributing to the vibrancy of our great city. So with that, I'd like to bring up Kim Weston, the Director of Operations for Spectrum Health Orthopedics. Thanks, Kim.
Good morning. So as he mentioned, I am Kim Weston, Director of Operations for Spectrum Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, and I second the good weather for the medical team. We're hoping that our runners will have the best weather for a safe event. So Spectrum Health is absolutely pleased to be the official health partner for the 2022 Amway River Bank Run, and we're honored to work alongside Amway and Fifth Third and the River Bank Run events and media team. Once again, Spectrum Health Medical Group Orthopedics will be providing medical support up into the race and also on race day. So we will have the first aid stations along the course and also the main medical tent, which will be at the finish line. And if you need anything at all, please come and see us. We'll be there supporting you. Additionally, Helen DeVos Children's Hospital will once again be sponsoring the Amway Junior Race, which will occur on Wednesday, May 11th, and that will be at Granville Middle School. That's a free event, so the sponsorship will support that. We can't wait to see those kiddos out there just running their best race. So fun to see them cross that finish line. They're so excited. We'd also like to thank everybody that has put their time into this event from Spectrum Health, those volunteers as well as our medical team. They've had a really, really tiring couple of years through the pandemic, so we're just incredibly grateful that they continue to come out and be there for the community and support on race day. We're so excited to hit the streets again. It's been so fun for us over the years. It's absolutely my favorite day of the year for us at Spectrum Health. We also just want to say that this, thank the team for giving us this opportunity, because this really embodies what we believe in, which is inspiring hope and improving health and encouraging healthy habits for our community. So thank you for giving us the chance to be a part of something so special. We also want to provide best wishes to all those runners out there. We hope you achieve your goals as you cross the finish line, and we would love to be there to cheer you on and support you when you do so. With that, I would like to turn it over to Christy Van Haver. She is the sports coordinator for Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital. She's going to give us an update on the competitive hand cyclists as well as wheelchair athletes. Christy?
Thank you, Kim. Like she said, I'm Christy Van Haver. I'm a recreational therapist by trade, sports coordinator for Mary Free Bed's Wheelchair and Adaptive Sports Department. Been here forever, but let's talk about the numbers that count. This is the 32nd year that our Mary Free Bed Guild has sponsored the wheelchair division. It is the 16th year for the hand cycle division. So they, through thick and thin, continue to stand up and stand behind these racers and get excited about what they will do in front of all of you on May 14th. Our athletes will race for $29,200 in prize money between the two divisions. So far, we have 7 wheelchair racers and 9 hand cyclists, but they come from 7 states and 2 countries. This is the only 25K in the world that has a wheelchair racing division, so we're really excited to be opening our doors back open to the international racers. We have racers coming back from Canada as well as Spain. Our racers are really excited to have the date back in May. They're also very excited to have the new course. They know it's going to be fast, and they're calling me about that. We also have all of our 2021 winners coming back. That's the first time that I know that all of our winners are coming back to race and defend their titles, which they're really excited about. An exciting thing is Mr. Santiago Sanz from Spain will be coming back. Those of you who have been a part of the race know Santi. He races wheelchair racer in the quad division. He has raced for 12 River Bank Run races with us before until 2016 when he retired to take time to finish his PhD, do research. He comes back very well published, as well as has done a number of years as a coach to new wheelchair athletes. So he will take the line again in the quad division right alongside one of his students, James Sambata, who was a winner of the Open Para division last year. So that's kind of a cool thing. As far as Mary Free Bed Hand Cycle Team, we have a great new fleet coming up through the ranks. Ones to watch will be Matt Tingley, a winner in the Open Para last year, as well as Katie Brim, a winner in the women's quad division. They both competed in Huntsville, Alabama at the Hand Cycle Paracycling Open, and Katie won in her quad division. Matt Tingley took second place in the road race. So they're coming in fast, and we're really excited to see what they're going to do, as well as Steve Chapman. Steve Chapman is not a new name to our racing community. He just finished 3rd in the Boston Marathon yesterday. He's also coming in fast. So you'll want to watch. Our racers will likely start finishing in the hand cycle division right around 45 minutes. Okay. All right. I think that is it for me. With that, I will turn it over to Tracy Hickson. She's the Charity Partner Coordinator for the Amway River Bank Run.
Figured I was going to be the short one here. Okay. Thanks, Christy. I will tell you, after running the 25K in October, I have a huge appreciation for the wheelchair and hand cyclists and what they go through on those hills, because it was killing me. So I have much appreciation for them. So I want to talk to you guys this morning a little bit about the Charity Partner Program. So one of the things that I love the most about this race is that connection to the community. And you heard David and Greg and Scott mention it. And the Charity Partner Program is really what pulls that together. So every year we get applications from various organizations around the community. And when we sit down to pick our charity partners, we really want to pick partners that represent specific segments of our community and certain organizations that service those sectors, so that when a runner or a walker is thinking about the Riverbank Run, they're finding something that gives them a little extra purpose. One of these organizations is going to pull a little bit at their heartstrings, make them run a little bit faster and a little bit more. So that's what we focus on when we pick our charity partners. And this year for 2022, we have 5 charity partners that have come along on this journey with us, and they all serve the organization in a very unique way. We have Hand to Hand Ministries. Their focus is the 68-hour weekend gap for childhood hunger. So they get fed during the week, but on the weekends, Hand to Hand steps in and fills. Myself, as a former 2020, also 2021, thank you, COVID, road warrior, is to get a firsthand view of what it takes to run this race. What does it take to run that 25K? So every year we pick a group of individuals that also want to make that journey. And they have stories behind them. They're all doing it for their own reasons, whether it's a comeback tour, whether it's a personal best, whether it's trying to inspire others for their cause. We have 9 individuals that are award warriors with us this year, and they have also partnered with the charity partners. So you will see them out on social media, posting, volunteering, fundraising. I know they're very active in their charities, and that's another way that they're helping their communities while they're on their road warrior journey as well. So I know those 9 road warriors are hard at work, they're hard at training, and they cannot wait to cross that finish line and be a part of the legacy of this race. I also know they cannot wait to get a beer from me at the Finish Fest, but that's a whole other conversation. So I can't mention the legacy of the race without mentioning our next speaker, which I'm so excited that I get to introduce. She is the Oz behind the curtain. She is the one that pulls the strings. She's one of the main reasons behind the legacy of this race. So I am proud to introduce Laura Lee Matthew, our operations director.
Tracy, you didn't need to do that. So I haven't been around for the full 45 years, but I'm gone gray over my years of being involved with the race. So it's been fun, it's been great, and now I get to talk to you about all the fun things that are happening this anniversary year. Most of you know we're up against course changes. If you were downtown with us in October, you saw how skinny Ottawa Avenue was. And we didn't have a lot of room for our participants, especially if we had 3 events coming in at the same time. So with that, we have some course changes. All 3 events and their courses have new routes to take. We are all heading out of Ottawa Avenue northbound to Michigan. And for any of you that may have been around back in those early days, it takes you back in time to when the start was on Ottawa and went to Michigan and then worked its way down along the river and returned. Back when Greg finished, he was finishing up on Calder Plaza. But we are not going to finish on Calder Plaza. We are going to finish on Monroe Avenue, right out here at Pearl Street. So all 3 events will start on Ottawa. All 3 events will finish in the same location on Monroe at Pearl. So it's fun. It's going to be a great course. The 25K is running backwards, if anybody remembers how all that goes, which means the hills are going to be in the early stages of the race. And some of you have mentioned speed. Oh, those wheelchairs and hand cycles, I tell you, they get faster and faster every year. But the hills are going to be early. So that means that after you get through about 5.5 miles, it's coasting downhill and flattening out. So Parker and his feet will never touch the ground because they didn't when he was here before. And now I just see him flying down the road. So it's going to be a fun event. Right now, it also looks like we won't have any flooding. So continue your prayers with Mother Nature that we do not get heavy rains between now and May 14th. We do have a little wet spot up on the hills, but thanks to our friends in the city of Grand Rapids, they are doing so much to help make our streets in good condition for our participants. I've got a vacuum truck reserved for Saturday morning if that pond up there is a little too full, because we don't need those hand cycles that are low to the ground. If you've ever seen them, they're low. Swimming as they hit that point. But anyway, so I'm feeling pretty good about that flood plan, and that we will not have to implement it. Some other fun things that are happening is we have a new sponsor on board, Planet Fitness, and we are going to have a PR bell at that finish line. Not exactly at the finish line, but in the finish area. So those that PR on this fast course will get to ring that bell and have some fun with it. We are also moving the Finish Fest inside to Hall A of DeVos Place. With the finish line on Monroe, it's kind of hard to get up to Calder Plaza, so we are moving it inside, which I don't care what the weather's like then, right? Because everybody can go inside and celebrate, which will be a good thing. I do want to thank, everybody's been up here thanking different pieces and parts of companies and organizations that have been involved with the race. Our sponsors definitely play a key role, but there's people behind the scenes, unlike me, that don't get a whole lot of recognition. So Spectrum Health, yes, they are there at the aid stations, they are there at the medical tent at the finish line to support those in need. We also have Life EMS, who's out there to transport you if you have any serious issues that go on. We've got Kent County Emergency Services team. You don't even know they're out there, but they're my eyes and ears on the course in various locations, communicating anything that's going on out there. And then we've got the municipalities. We've got Grand Rapids Police Department, we've got Walker Police Department, and Granville PD out there on the course, keeping those portions of the course safe, along with every department in all of the municipalities that we run through are doing something behind the scenes to make sure that everything is coming together. So I have to thank those, because without them, I'd have a really crazy day. But I know that I can depend on them to do everything that they need to do on the back end. Kim mentioned junior at Granville Middle School. I'll just remind everybody as well, all those little tykes out there running around the track at Granville. It's a lot of fun, and it's free May 11th. Come and join us. David mentioned volunteers. I will put another plug in for volunteers. We're doing okay on the inside jobs, but boy, do we need some help outside. So we've got aid stations that are the backbone of the race. We need volunteers out there to help hand off that water and Gatorade to participants as they are running the course. And that's all I have. So, David, it's back to you.
Thank you, Laura Lee. I do want to echo what Tracy said about Laura Lee. I mean, we couldn't do it without her. I also want to thank Russ Hines, who is the owner of the race. Russ, thanks for all you do for the race every day, day in and day out. We appreciate you. And there is another person on the team sitting right over here who's been with us. I just asked her how many years, and she said, I can't tell you. It's been a long time, she said. But we just found out that Sarah Laurent, who works hand in hand with Laura Lee, this will be her last year with the race. She's retiring and going to have some fun. So we just want to say thank you so much, Sarah, for everything you've done for the race over the years. Okay, that's about it. We've turned the corner, folks. We're back. Second Saturday in May. We got the junior back this year. We're back in full force. We're looking forward to a beautiful day in May. We're going to be around for a while if you'd like to do some side interviews with any of us. Also, if you haven't noticed, if you haven't taken a look at the awesome medals for the race there and back. But thanks, everybody, for being here. Have a great day. Stay warm.